Hello again. I just posted, or should be trying to post it, no doubt, knowing the hassle I have with trying to post videos to YouTube. Probably won't even go through, but I posted another Chibson update in which I mentioned the pedal board, and I said I'd give people a quick run through. Not that it's a brilliant pedal board, not that I'm a brilliant player, as you're more than aware by this point probably, if you watched any of the other videos. But just because when putting the pedal board together, I found such videos quite useful, and almost the amateur videos such as this as useful as some of the pro videos. But yeah, so just a quick video, and also for people who do know a lot more about it and are a lot more proficient in guitar playing and pedal boards, to perhaps drop a comment and give me some advice on swapping a few things around if need be. But anyway, so this is it. It's a pedal board, but some of the pedals I've had for years. The Small Stone, for example, I've had that. I'm pretty sure I had that before my son was born, who is now 16 in June. So I've had that about 17 years. I've still got the original wooden box for it, and the Dodd down here, and some, but a lot of the other ones are newer. But a lot of them are just replacements. I've swapped pedals on eBay, or sell pedals on eBay, etc, etc. The pedal board itself, the actual base I made, as I've mentioned in some of the other videos, I'm a builder, so work with timber, etc. And yeah, just had some 1x2 timber on the van. So just made like a couple of diagonal stands either end, like wedges, for want of a better term, and just put on 5 slats with a sort of an inch gap in between the two, in between them, and yeah, that is it. So yeah, anyway, a quick run through. I've got the Black Star channel switch. Sorry about the lighting, it's absolutely shit, and I am recording this again on my iPhone. There's a lot of noise coming from that, but yeah, Black Star channel switch is on there. Everything's velcroed down. So yeah, there's a little Black Star HT5R with a 1x12 cab. So yeah, anyway, the lead, now this time, is plugged into my Fender JA90, Jim Adkins. Comes from, twirls round and goes into Polytune. Awesome tuner for what I want. It has the ability to, in theory, strum, and it'll show which strings are out, which probably does that a fucking lot. But I do it generally individually, so yeah, one string at a time. But yeah, so from that, all of this is running via, you can see it just underneath, a K-line power supply. I think it's called a CP05. Yeah, they're cheap as chips, about 30 quid, and I can't say anything but good things for them. It's just a brilliant power supply for about 30 quid. There's a YouTube video on somewhere where the guy runs a electrical test meter across it, and the power doesn't dip. You know, he was monitoring the 9-volt output, which registered at something like 9.2 volts, and clicked on about 4 or 5 different pedals, and the voltage didn't drop an ounce. So an ounce is probably a wrong terminology for electricity. But anyway, yeah, so just for what I use fucking about at home, pretty much, the odd little rehearsal here and there, it's a brilliant power output. 10 outputs, 7 of them are 100 milliamp, 9 volts. One, I only know this because I was talking to a friend about one the other day and he wants to buy one. 700 milliamp, one, I think it's either 3 or 500 milliamp 9 volt, so that's the 8, and then the other 2 are a 12 volt and an 18 volt, which is handy because the Danelectro is an 18 volt because it's a stereo pedal. So anyway, so go from the tuner. Oh, my link leads. All the link leads I've made myself using Nutric or Nutric-esque heads, and just some decent quality Nutric lead, and some decent quality solder. But anyway, yeah, so Polytune into a Boss power supply master switch. I actually use the power supply a little bit because I've run out of 9-volt sockets on the CP05. So the CP05 being so cheap, I've bought another one which is en route, so I shall have him running side by side underneath the board. Oh, and the light is turn off onable on the power supply if you don't like it. So yeah, so this basically turns off and on the guitar effect loop. So at the minute when it's green, basically the guitar signal goes from the tuner into the master switch and then straight into the amp. When the light is red, it goes through the whole guitar loop. So anyway, so light off into the amp, light red, goes into the pedals. So it is now going into the Bufferlo, Pedal Project's Bufferlo guitar signal buffer. It is there at the start of the chain because, yet again, this might be something I'm hoping someone might be able to give me a few pointers. It really doesn't seem to make much of a difference. If I don't find somewhere soon for it to go and work properly, it may be coming out and finding itself on eBay. I was under the illusion that a buffer is meant to, for want of a better term, strengthen the signal, so therefore when I turn the master switch on and off, the signal shouldn't drop at all. It does. Not much, but it does. I mean, but when you're considering there's obviously all these pedals and the guitar leads, which aren't very long, admittedly, it does drop a tiny little bit. It just takes the top end off a little bit, but I'll demonstrate that in a bit. So yeah, if anyone could tell me where the fuck I should put that, let me know. I've tried it in various places and it seems to make no difference whatsoever. But yeah, so anyway, it goes into this. When it goes into the Electro Harmonix Nano, Soul Preacher Nano compressor, sustainer. I use it more, to be honest. I have the sustain low. I mean, you can hardly see that, but the sustain is at about what would be 9 o'clock, and the volume's at about 12 o'clock. So I use it a bit more as a gain boost. Then that goes straight into a Crybaby from Hell. So it's basically a Dunlop Crybaby with bells and whistles. It's got a dial on the side to alter the range. It's got volume output. It's got a little flick switch on the side, which is a gain boost. Yeah, again, it was an eBay purchase. It was the toss-up between that and a normal Crybaby for relatively the same price. So why the hell wouldn't you have a one with bells and whistles? From that goes into a Dodd Classic Fuzz, which again I have the fuzz very, very low, only on about 1 or 2. No, sorry, 2 or 3. I literally use that as an extra gain boost just to beef up an original signal, or just to use it on its own as a bit of grit. Then into a Rothwell Tornado. This is a brilliant UK made overdrive pedal. Has a tone shift on it which gives it shit more bottom end, but too much, like just muddy. It's a very amp sounding overdrive, which is brilliant in many ways, but at the same time I may be looking for something different because it sounds a lot like the actual amp's overdrive. But at the same time it's quite nice because I can have an amp sounding overdrive before my effects rather than after, if that makes any sense. I.e. this then runs into all the modulation effects, whereas the overdrive of the amp sort of goes over them. Therefore, say the tremolo with Rothwell, the tremolo affects the distorted signal coming from this. So it's a very intense tremolo. Whereas if you use the amp distortion, the amp distorts over the tremolo. I shall demonstrate this if I remember. Making it less intense, less audible. So anyway, from the Rothwell, can't recommend that pedal enough. It is absolutely brilliant. Goes into a small stone, which I say I've had ages. But maybe leaving the pedal board. I will never sell it, but maybe leaving the pedal board just because it's just fucking massive. And it's not that adjustable. You have the rate and a colour switch. Colour switch, when on the up position, is OTT. When it's down, it's a lot quieter. Anyway, ready into the Danelectro Cool Cat, yet again for a chorus pedal. I don't use chorus a lot, that is a nice pedal. Stereo, if you're that way inclined. Then into a tremolo, which is, oh, Jesus, that's bright. which is yet again a UK company called Boo Instruments. And that was hand painted by an artist in Brighton. That's a recent eBay purchase, cheap as chips, brilliant pedal. Into the TC electronic flashback delay. I don't use delays a lot, but that is absolutely awesome. And as you will know if you watch any videos about this pedal, it's so versatile. And then that, straight back into the Boss Master switch, into the amp, I believe. So yeah, that is it. Yeah, it's brilliant. I shall perhaps actually stop this video now because it's 10 minutes long and I do have trouble posting long videos to YouTube from my phone. So I shall stop this and then do a soundbite video after. But any questions about any pedals in particular, feel free to ask. And I'll try and help as much as possible. And like I say, any advice on swapping things around, etc., let me know. I know the Blackstar has an effects loop. I know I could put things through the effects loop, but it's not a route I'm going for the middle. I do like how it sounds at this point in time, generally speaking. Anyway, so yeah, I'll stop this now and then I'll do a soundbite video after. Thanks, bye-bye.